The importance of a good presentation cannot be overestimated. Once you have lost the audience's attention, once they conclude you're boring, once they've decided you are wasting their time, it's very hard to get them back on your side again. The old saying, "Don't bother to shut the barn door after the horses are already gone," applies here. Great pitches are difficult to construct, but it can be done. There are many examples from history. Here's one. In November 1095, Pope Urban II called the European nobility to the Council of Claremont. There gathered the power elite of the day. Kind of reminds you of Davos, doesn't it? While you might call these people the members of the nobility, they were anything but noble. They were cynical, realpolitik types. We have no exact record of what he said. There were no transcripts. The exact words have been lost forever. However, we know the results: the Crusades. Despite the importance of a good pitch, most people do their best to imitate two standard kiss-of-death presentations: a professor's lecture and the equally dull and drab cousin, the business presentation. I don't know why we see so many boring professors. You'd think it's a requirement along with a PhD. And of course we see mind-numbing business presentations, presenters stuck behind the podium in the laptop, which functions like a child's security blanket. Unfortunately, the audience can mentally leave the room in less than 90 seconds. I have been privileged to sit in on many different types of presentations entrepreneurs make to investors. It's a bit like Shark Tank with PowerPoints. These entrepreneurs are asking investors to pony up hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. You'd be amazed how many times I see investors lose interest. Sometimes you'd see a pained look on the face. Other times they're starting to glance at their watch. And of course, many will pull out the BlackBerry, iPhone, or Android to start checking with their emails. Unfortunately, boring presentations are all too common, but this creates an opportunity for those who are good at it. Let's face it, people like a good pitch. They want to hear a good story, and when you give it to them, they respond. Hello, my name is Murray Johansson. I've been teaching communication skills useful to leaders for a number of years at UCLA, and we coach entrepreneurs on the money pitch. We'll now go through some of the essential steps to getting the wow response from an audience. Let's overview the major elements of how to put together a great pitch. Then we'll dig down a little bit more into each one. The first element is content. Meaning is important, not just the meaning embedded in the visuals, but the words as well. This brings us to the second element, delivery. There's an art to getting people's attention and holding it, as this presenter at Speaker's Corner in London's Hyde Park understands. The third element to a great presentation is modeling. One of my favorite saying goes, "Monkey see, monkey do," said by an expert in the field known as my mom. Unfortunately, well-educated individuals who have spent hundreds or thousands of hours in the library getting degrees have forgotten the value of observational learning, what in psychology is called vicarious learning. We employ this tool a lot as a way of getting people familiar with what great presentations entail. Finally, there is feedback. If there is one common fatal flaw we see, it's not getting enough feedback. Sure, if you've been doing this for 20 years, you probably don't need that much. Now let's take a few moments and go through each of these in more detail. When it comes to learning pitch-perfect presentation skills, one needs to understand that not only is every slide a story, but there's a structure to a persuasive pitch as well. I remember a program by Brian Tracy, who was a well-known speaker in sales. In one of his programs, he made the observation that always stuck with me when he said, "Many people fail because they fail to pay attention to the basics." Same with a good presentation. One has to understand the basics of content and structure before one can move up the food chain. Sure, while content is important, delivery is as critical. Many people say even more critical. You have to present a coherent business case, get liked, be credible, build enthusiasm, be persuasive, and radiate trust and integrity in 15 minutes or less. Great presenters model other great presenters. In the early days, I would model others at Toastmasters, but soon discovered that the really great presenters were across town at the local chapter of the National Speakers Association. I used to stand in the back, imitating exactly what the presenters were doing, and I believed I learned some of these great skills. Finally, there is, of course, feedback. Let me start out with some questions. Why do pro players still have coaches? Why do presidential candidates still have professionals who teach them how to debate? And why do you need feedback on that presentation? It's because at some point you fall in love with your own work. You cannot see the flaws anymore. It looks perfect. Truly, it is a work of beauty, but only in your eyes. So be sure to ask and receive feedback from professionals. We can always ask Mom, but then we know what she'll say. So, get on track. Don't get derailed. If you've never had a course on platform skills, we have a self-paced online short course. You learn better and understand how to deliver, to put together the content, and you'll have access to well-crafted speech and top-notch presentations. Or, if you're well along with the pitch, you can ask some of our professionals for feedback. Remember, investing in platform skills is an investment that keeps on giving over and over and over. It's like planting an apple tree. You get the benefits year after year after year, but you must make that investment. If you would like more information, feel free to contact us.